lighttalk423@gmail.com. While you're at it, please click on your like, share, and subscribe buttons. Well, let's introduce our guest today. Let's go ahead and go for it.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marie Miller. So I'm a theta healing practitioner, psychic. I decided to become professional with my psychic gifts. Yeah, I do a whole bunch of fun stuff, but I guess I'm here to tell some stories, especially about getting run over by a car, dying, and coming back. So let's get into it. I've only told this a few times, so thanks for the opportunity to share it again.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I love hearing these stories, so that's why we're here. That's why we're
Yeah,
here.
and I spent so many years with different healers trying to like also work through this. So it's probably why it's easier to tell now because, like I said, I've worked through so much on it.
Yeah,
So,
possibly. Yes.
yep. So when I was 2.5, I'm playing in the driveway, and somehow, some way, everyone has a different version of what happened. I end up under the wheel of the family station wagon. So the way my mom tells it, she was out back shelling walnuts and she got a vision from God to that I was in danger, like tore to the front of it, put her hands on the car, stopped the car, informed my dad of what was happening, who then reversed the car and backed over me again. Right. So that's how we got out of the situation. There's more nuances and layers to the story, but so what was happening to me in that moment was when the tire had stopped here on the chest, right? Because mom stopped it before my head got popped, right? So didn't this is as high as the tire went, and I actually still had up to a few years ago, like the energetic imprints, like right on my chest of where the tire paused for that brief moment before going into reverse.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And so it's been interesting. I've worked with a lot of really amazing healers on this just to release all of it. And because we had to release a lot of it, a lot of the trauma to get to the story. Because the way our bodies store things is you have, like, the trauma keeps you from understanding what really happened. So, what happened was, and I have no conscious memory of it, I had to come to this through meditation, is I popped out of my body because it was crumbling and cracking. It did crack under the weight. And I said, kind of F this, I'm not done yet. There was like this determination, like, no, this is stupid. I'm not going out this early. And then everything sort of fixed itself,
Wow. It
right?
just
And
it just fixed itself.
it fixes. It's my first miracle, right? I claim that I've had like a few miracles in my life. So this will be the first one, right? Like everything came back. The only places that there's any real trauma left in my body is on the right side, because when that during that reverse, that kidney on my right side didn't grow until I was about 13. That's miracle number two because it grew overnight.
Wow.
So yeah, so there's a lot that
Wow.
happened in that moment.
Ooh, busy body that night, huh?
Very busy body, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
such a clean healing that when I was taken to the hospital, the doctor was kind of a jerk to my mom, saying that she was completely overreacting, that I was fine.
Really?
But I'm 2.5 and I got completely run over by a car. Like I should not have been fine by all accounts, right? It's like,
Right,
oh,
right.
bones, kids are great. They just bounce back. I'm like, no, that's actually something that did happen in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
Yep. And so after that, that's when I started seeing ghosts, like pretty much immediately. And I didn't realize that that's what they were. That understanding came later. It's just like there was my grandma, Elizabeth. She lived in South Dakota and we were in Iowa, but there she was all the time hanging out with me.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So she's helping you out throughout the running over of the car.
hmm
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's good to have a partner like that.
it is. But it was, yeah, it
Yeah.
was really cool. Like I just started seeing these I had these extra people in my life that were just my friends. Um, so yeah, I've been talking to ghosts since that moment, really.
Wow. And you have them all over the place all the time, or do you call them in and
Not
have you
anymore.
sit?
I went through a phase when I first moved to San Diego, and I was volunteering at this one church and doing this other work, and I kept having ghosts attached to me a lot. And so I had to go to different healers, and I kind of went through a lot of training to feel more safe. Because when I was younger, before that, it was always friendly ghosts. It was fun.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was basically ancestors and things, or if I was doing a reading for someone, like their grandma might pop through. But there was an interesting phase where I guess the universe decided that I needed some more training. And so there was a time when, and then I started doing this for friends, like clearing ghosts. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, come feng shui my house and clear this new house that I bought and come clear it from ghosts and everything and all these things." And I didn't know feng shui, but this person decided I could do it. It was great. um, we did. We had a great time with that house. But there was a room in that house because it had been a suicide. And when I went into the room where the person had shot himself, you could see like I could see the one wall was just covered in just blood and pain and horror because that's a pretty bad way to go out. So I was cleaning it, cleaning it, cleaning it. Then I went to the bathroom on the other side of the wall and something bit me. And I'm like, that's unusual. Like right on my leg. It was just sort of like what, but didn't break the skin. But like when a cat does like a love nip that you're
Okay.
done petting them, it was sort of that. Like something was very vicious. I could feel something grabbing my leg, telling me to go away. So then I got to go get more training on how to release that. So it's almost like they kept getting more intense to be like, here's what you need to be able to deal with. Because
Oh.
then I wanted to go swing dancing. Started out so instantly, I'm gonna go swing dancing. My friend's like, come to my swing dancing club. And I'm like, okay. But I get there and I'm changing into my dancing shoes and I look up. Everyone has a demon riding them. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to dance tonight. So that's when I learned how to release demons from a place. Like afterwards, what had happened was this center that they were using, like 80 years earlier, there had been a cult that was there, and they would have
Oh.
rituals, right? And so rituals that included dance. And so when the swing dancers came in, again, there was dance and there was ritual because it's swing dance is fun, but there's a form to it, right?
Right, right, right.
So they're just like, you're here for us. But I mean, luckily, they wouldn't stay with those people. It would just be like during that, because they actually stayed with the place.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good.
So that was so that was another
That's
level of Marie getting trained up in how to deal with these dark, scary things.
yeah. I mean, what did these things look like? I mean, some of the stuff that you've seen.
Well, actually, those very specifically, I don't know if you've seen the movie Constantine, but where he puts the holy water in the sprinkler system.
I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Okay, kind of like half melty. That room was full of half melty faces.
Oh, oh, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing. But like I said, that
Ugh.
was one of the heavier things. Like normally ghosts just show up to me as like there's like a gray like shadow. That's if they're just, general ones that are just out there in the public when you're walking down the street or when you're going in to clear a house. If it is someone's ancestor, someone who's coming specifically forward to talk to someone during a reading,
Hmm.
then they look really clear in exactly how they did in life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could kind of tell who they are in a sense just by their appearance.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. Although they
Oh,
do show you themselves how they want to be seen,
that's true.
not necessarily how they looked in their right before they left. Because when my grandma was coming to me, she was way skinnier than she was when she was still alive and in my life.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yep.
hear it's more of the age that they liked best.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Um, and you had a story about a gift from your mom.
Oh, well, we both have different psychic gifts. Our gifts look a little bit different. She can just touch someone and they're healed. As a healer, I have to work a little bit harder at it. Um, but we both have the ability to walk by someone and sometimes see all of their trauma. We have that in common. And I didn't understand how that was useful for the longest time. And I thought it was kind of an annoying gift, especially because I didn't have good boundaries with my gifts. So I would just be like talking to someone and just get like an info dump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I still see it now, but now it's in a more controlled manner because it's in the context of a session.
okay.
Yeah, usually.
Anything scary going on around me or anything that you see? We're all
No,
good. We're good on this side.
just friendly faces behind you.
Oh, cool. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody has a team. I mean, team, your teams of like, all of the different energy beings that are on support us. I've never seen less than five.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have this friend that got me going on all this. His name is Shane,
Mhm.
and Shane Smith. He's a psychic also. And when we were working together, when he first brought this all up to me and got me kind of interested in it, he goes, "You have a few people in your area where I was working." And then by the time he left, it was, "You're filling up over there, Dana." So I was like, "Oh, cool. Now if I can communicate with them, get talking and figuring this stuff out." So, yeah, I mean, we're still waiting.
It's a process.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and the other thing with my mom, I think that you may be alluding to is the fact that when I would mention these weird things that were going on in my life when I was a kid,
uh huh.
she would like not react in horror like some parents do or freak out, just go, uh-huh, kind of leave the room. And after her next trip to the library, there would be a stack of books for me that she thought might help me.
I'm getting quite the library myself right now. I've got all kinds of things because this is like a huge web. I mean, you just go into one thing and then you find something out, and then you're diving into this, and then
Mhm.
you figure find something new, and then you dive into this, and then you forget about this, and it's like focus. But it's
Yep.
hard because there's just so much to learn, and wow, just so
And
much.
there's so many cool practices out there. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
tons of cool information. And seeing how different cultures like, worked with different information. Yeah, it's really
yeah,
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 I still have a lot of books. I have like a separate library for all my spiritual books.
yeah, me too. And it's overtaking the other ones by a long shot now. Yeah, it's just so much. So right now I'm reading a book on crystals.
Yes.
So I'm going to finish that up, and then I'm planning on reading about my. Oh my goodness, I just lost it. Um, Shadow work, to work
Oh,
on some shadow working. So I'm excited to start reading that and getting that one moving.
shadow work is so important. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's my next rabbit hole I'm going down. So I know I've got a lot to work on. I've only touched it, but it's I feel like I've already done some healing. Just knowing, okay, well, this and this and this is what I need to work on, and so I've got this list of, okay, well, I know those need to be worked on, and I've already felt better since just making that
Yeah.
list. So I know
It's
there's going to be more to do.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we're all human, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, do you have any other stories that you can? I'm sure you have more
Oh
stories.
my gosh, which story? Um, so me and animals, it was interesting. A friend of mine wanted me to clear her land, and it was the first time I actually talked to the ghost of a pet. But she said that one part of her land had really weird energy, and I got this like really sad story from the lady that was there, but also from the dog who was trying to protect her from her husband.
From her husband. Oh,
Yeah, there might have been a murder on that land. And so definitely cleared that energy, got her story, and then also helped the dog find peace too.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, the whole thing with pets though, it's interesting. Late in the night, once like midnight, once did I get an email from someone I was who's a regular tarot client who's like, I know you can help me. My dog is dying. I just need to know should I take him to the vet or just let them pass peacefully? And I'm like, oh, that's a
Oh,
hard question to answer. And
yeah.
I had never spoken to a pet. I knew how to do it in theory because I didn't have any at that time. And so I just went up and I tried it and I had this great conversation with this sweet little dog, passed the information on. And then from there on out, I just got tons of dogs to keep talking to.
Oh, so how did they speak to you? Through telepathic, or how
Kind
was
of, I
that
mean,
done?
well, you pretty much go up and you talk to their higher self, and depending on the involvement of the dog, some of them you just talk back and forth in pictures. So more the telepathic, where it's just pictures and emotions. Some of them actually do speak to you in English. You can have a regular conversation.
Ooh, how
Yeah,
cool is that?
it's really fun because like I've actually been blessed to be able to help a lot of rescue dogs. With all sorts of
Oh,
things. Because one of my clients, and I tried to teach her, but she's like, no, I'm just going to have you do it. But to connect with them and help them integrate into their new home and like change behaviors. Rescue dogs, they're such a special energy because when they finally find their forever home, they're so easy to get them to behave.
oh,
'Cause
yeah. It's been pretty
Mhm.
easy with our little girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just
she's pretty
need
easy.
a little bit of trauma healing, really, and to know that they're safe and they're not gonna get yanked away in 2 months.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
they need just that much love. It's amazing.
yeah. She's been so awesome. She's my little ghost finder.
Nice.
My
Yeah.
little girl. She's my little ghost finder. She is always looking around in our house, and she's always um, seen something in there. And she's watching. And about a week ago, it was so cute. She's looking up and just kind of watching, and then all of a sudden you see her little back end start wiggling like she's getting ready to play, you know. And then she just lets out this, which is her sign of, okay, I'm ready to play, let's do this, you know.
Hmm.
So and she did that looking up in the corner of our room, and she's always looking up in that area at someone. So it's like they were ready to play that day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It was so cute. It was so cute. I'm like, what are you looking at? Who are you looking at? And she just keeps looking, and I'm like, is it grandma? Because my mom passed about
Mhm.
almost a year ago. I go, is it grandma? And she gets all excited. Or she'll look over at me like,
Mhm.
oh, I know who grandma is. She's so cute.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, she's been awesome. She's been wonderful. Um, you had stories of being in a cemetery.
Oh, that's right. I did. There's a few, like in high school, because in high school I wasn't quite as in touch with my gifts
Hmm.
because high school's complicated anyway. Um, we got a lot of things to worry about. I just
Right.
remember it was after like a Fourth of July parade or something. For some reason, we were in Powell, like hanging out in the because I was also kind of goth, so I hung out in a lot of cemeteries. And I just remember getting like walking past one particular grave and getting this weird wave of nausea, and I'm like, that's interesting. And I never really did figure out what that was about because I was kind of young. But just knowing that, like in all my time in graveyards, that had never happened before,
Hmm.
and I came back around it again, like, okay, there's something weird about this. And then so that was just a weird thing. But then years later, I was kicking it with one of my friends and just going to haunted places around town, as you do.
Uh,
And there's this old cemetery in Columbus where they had a special section where all the POWs from the Civil War, like everyone who passed while they were a prisoner of war from the South, because there was a camp up here. And yeah, that was like one of the most intense things that I felt. Because first of all, you could feel the grief and the sadness and the separation.
Mm.
It's like dying in war is pretty horrible to begin with, but it must have also been gruesome to be in the POW camp and having that whole thing. So there's like this whole special section. And I only saw maybe a couple of them actually popped up to say hi, but it was more about you could literally feel when you went from one section to the other into that the band of energy change. It was like there was a wall of energy that was just with that section.
Oh wow. Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh, what a feeling. I mean,
Mhm.
with me being an empath, you obviously have to work with
Mhm.
your skills so that you stay safe and everything. But that would just get me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so hard.
Well, I've also since learned how to heal the land, which is really good. So now when I come across things like that, I know how to like, because it seems like, you can tell from my stories, every time like something happens, I'm like, oh, how do I heal that? How do I fix that? If that happens again, just alley oop, there we go. The land is
There you
clear.
go.
So
Oh,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I'm still working on those skills, but I'm gonna get there.
you will.
Someday I'm gonna get there.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So, let's see. You had some voices of talking to God.
Oh, I don't remember what that's in referring to,
Uh,
refers to.
oh, that was telling God to take over when we're feeling down or helping
Mhm.
out with the ghost and everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were
So
helping out with the ghost.
now I know what that's. So actually, this was a really fun story. When my nephew was 5, they started seeing ghosts, and my sister's like, "Hey, so and so seeing ghosts. Put them on the phone with me." And I'm just like, "So here's what you do," and just taught them that all you have to do is connect to God, Creator, whatever your source of power is, and have that energy command them to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yep, yep.
Yep. And so they went around and they had every time anyone in the family bought a new home, they insisted on checking it for ghosts and clearing it before they moved in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'll probably do that next time I move into another house because I didn't know about all this before when I moved in here. But I did do a smudging one time and I did get rid of a black shadow or a shadow.
Okay.
Um, I haven't seen them anyway since, and I haven't seen my ET since then.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know if the ETs were good for me or not, because I feel like they were protecting me.
Mm-hmm.
So we must have just gotten rid of all of the negatives, so the ETs aren't needed
Yeah.
right now.
Could be.
So that's what I'm looking at. But
Well, I find that our team sort of like switches in and out as they're needed.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. This the ET team was
Yeah,
doing for me.
that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm like kind of missing them because it's like, oh, that was kind of cool. But if they're not needed, there's somebody else that needs them. So
I had an ET for a guide for a while, but he was super funny. I tried to talk to him because I went through a whole phase of talking through them to all my guides and angels through pendulums and cards.
uh huh.
He did not want me to talk about my dating life to him. He did not care. He's just like, let's just talk about theater. Let's talk about blacklight. That's all he cared about was my theater company. I'm like, okay, cool. So he's not around because I'm not currently doing theater, but I tell you, as soon as I bust out a blacklight, he'll probably pop back in. So.
Yeah, and I'll get to know all of them too at some point, all my guides. I was told one time through my pendulum that my mom was going to be one of my guides. My mom was going to be my guide for my journey, for my spiritual journey.
Mhm.
So, are you getting that?
That's probably who keeps waving at me.
Okay.
'Cause I can see a female relative
Oh, wait.
over your shoulder.
All right, we're back now from our technical difficulties. So, yeah, you were seeing my mom behind me waving.
Yeah, she's been kind of peeking out the whole time, just every once in a while, just saying hi. So,
It's probably, I don't know, if she's saying hi to you, me, or what. But after she passed, I had just started my um, podcasting
hmm
soon after she passed, and the thing of this is I've took a lot of her shirts and they're all in different colors. So all the shirts you see me wearing in my podcast are all hers. So she's always with me when I'm doing
hmm
my podcasting. So it's all her clothing, and she's got clothing for all the chakras. So I go through all the chakras and everything. So it's like it's my mom. She's with me during my podcasting.
Oh, I love it. That's so sweet.
So yeah, so there's a reason for what I wear, the things, the clothes I wear. So my mom's always with me. Well, she's supposed to be my guide in my
hmm
journey. So I figured, well, if she's my guide through my journey and she's passed now, I've got a lot of shirts that I could wear for the podcast. So
Yeah,
a
that's
bunch of
amazing.
them. So yeah, yeah. So, well, I so appreciate you joining me today. I had a blast. It's so exciting hearing everyone's stories.
So thank you so much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. Anytime, anytime, you guys. I just get so excited about it. Well, if any of you out there listening have stories that you would like to tell, go ahead and email me at lighttalk423@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your stories and have you on the show. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for being with me, and we will see you later.